Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today, I want to talk to you guys about some of the news that have been coming out of Barcelona over the past couple of days regarding Hansi Flick and his plans for the squad in this up-and-coming season. Now, full disclosure, the reporting in Barcelona since Hansi Flick got announced as the manager last week has been really strange. It's a bunch of yellow journalism, clickbaity shit, things like, Hansi Flick is really counting on Ronald Araujo next year, Hansi Flick really likes Frankie de Jong, or Hansi Flick is really, he loves Alejandro Valde, he thinks he can be his next Alphonso Davies. It's a bunch of bullshit, like I said, yellow journalism. I'm pretty sure Hansi Flick is on vacation right now, and whoever's feeding these people these stories is just, it's obviously not reputable, but I did see two reports yesterday that really caught my eye and have been backed by actual good sourcing that are obviously people who are reputable and know what they're talking about. The first report that I saw is apparently Barcelona and Hansi Flick really want to keep the two Joaos, Joao Felix and Joao Cancelo. And I also saw another report, not another report, but I saw that Ansu Fati did an interview with Mundo Deportivo, and he was talking about how he's really eager to come back to Barca. He spoke with Hansi Flick while he was at Brighton, went to go visit him, and he wants to prove himself to the fans and to the team. So I want to talk about Joao Felix and Joao Cancelo and also Ansu Fati. And if you guys agree or disagree, please let me know in the comments section down below. But anyway, let's get into this. First, I want to talk about Joao Cancelo, because I saw a report that apparently Hansi Flick really wants to keep Joao Cancelo. I didn't see one about Joao Felix, but like I said, that report was yesterday. But the one that I saw today was that Hansi Flick is really eager to keep Joao Cancelo. Obviously, a guy that we have on loan from Man City. Here's the thing with Joao Cancelo. If you want to bring him back on one more year on a loan deal, then that's fine. Or if you can get him on a cheap, if Man City want maybe 20 million for him or 25 at most million for him, I would say, you know what, bite the bullet and get Joao Cancelo, because I feel like what we saw from him at Barca, for the majority of it, he was actually really good. Like I said, I've shared on Joao Cancelo over the past couple months because he has been poor both going forward and defensively. But what we saw from that guy coming in August up until, maybe late April or mid-April. No, actually no, before, he was bad against PSG. Let's just say from August up until April, he was really good. He was one of our most consistent and best players, and he was really good going forward. I mean, that guy unlocked so much for us going forward, especially because Valde this year was really poor going forward. Again, Joao Cancelo, we all know this. I mean, he was that way at Juve. He's been that way at Man City. He's been that way everywhere he's been. He's not great defensively. But again, the upside with him is that going forward, he's one of the best fullbacks in the world. But unfortunately, this year for Barca, over the past couple months, we didn't see that from Joao Cancelo. We saw a guy who was terrible going forward, who could not send in a cross to save his life, and who was also terrible, like he usually is, defensively. And when you have that from Joao Cancelo, as well as the stupid mistakes that he makes, which he made a bunch of them, and his positional awareness is terrible, it's basically like you're playing with 10 men on the pitch. And that's something that I don't want. Now, Barca do need fullbacks because we have Hector Ford right now. We obviously have Koundé playing as a fullback. We have Joao Cancelo still. But our fullback depth is not really there, especially if you're not going to re-sign Sergio Roberto, who it looks like, thank God, Barca are not going to bring back because Hansi Flick doesn't want him. At that point, you're kind of left stranded for fullbacks. And Joao Cancelo and Hansi Flick, like I said in my video a couple days back actually, he relies heavily on his fullbacks. It's really important that you have good fullbacks at Barcelona, guys who can go forward, because Hansi Flick needs that on his team. And I think that with a guy like Joao Cancelo, I think Hansi Flick can get the most out of him. But again, what I saw from him the last couple months of the year really turned me off. Especially those games against Real Madrid and against PSG. He was a disaster. The PSG game was a collapse. I mean, by Barca as a whole. Araujo has a lot of fault in that. But Cancelo didn't do us any favors. He was at fault for the first Dembele goal. He was at fault for that penalty that he gave away to Dembele. He was just not great. And against Real Madrid, again, defensively, he was not good at all. And also, like I said, going forward. But like I said, the majority of the season, he was actually really decent and was really consistent for us. But for me, bringing him back on one more year on loan, I would be really happy with that. Especially because we know that he doesn't want to be at Man City and Man City don't want him. We know that Pep doesn't like Joao Cancelo and Joao Cancelo doesn't like Pep. I've been watching the Man City documentary after their trouble, and you can just tell there's tension and they don't like each other. Now, is that going to help Barca? Because obviously we know they don't want the player. I'm not sure. Again, I'm not Joan Laporta. That's something that he's going to have to figure out. But I do think that Barca can kind of have some leverage over Man City because we know and they know you don't want this guy back. So give us him back for one more year on loan, or give us, holy fuck, or let us get him on a cheap. I'm sorry about that. Let us get him on a cheap transfer, and then we can see, we can start working on that. But again, like I said, that's my thoughts on Joao Cancelo. I was really disappointed with him over the past couple months of the year, but I do think that overall he'd be a good addition to keep up Barcelona because it never hurts to have depth on the team. It never hurts to have depth, and especially at the fullback position with Barca, which Barca do need depth at. You can have a guy like Joao Cancelo, who I still believe that on his day can be one of the best fullbacks in the world. And also, we'll see how he does at the Euros. He's going to play the Euros. He's going to be a starter for Portugal in the Euros, so we'll see how he plays there. Maybe if he has has a good Euro, that maybe like encourages Barca to bring him back and be like, you know what, what he did the final months of the season. Sorry, it's not what he usually is. He usually is this type of player, so we're gonna bring him back and just bet on the upside and say, you know what, fuck it, we'll bring him in for one more year and see what he can do, and we'll see what Hansi Flick can get out of him. But anyway, that's my thoughts on Joao Cancelo. Let's talk about Joao Felix and Ansu Fati, because to me these two players go hand in hand. Ansu Fati is a guy that I love. I have a whole yap session on this channel dedicated to Ansu Fati, talking about him and the player that he could have been at Barcelona, which, I say could have been because he's 20. Ansu's 21, but he started at Barca when he was like 16, 17. So he's been at Barca for a really long time. And we've seen Ansu over the past couple seasons not be at his best, whether it's because of injuries or just not like his confidence is just not really there. That kid that we saw burst onto the scene, scoring that goal against Inter in the UCL, we don't see that guy anymore when he was playing for Barca, at least last year. Now this year for Brian, he had good moments, but he was mostly injured, as was the whole Brian team, because Brian had one of the worst injury crises in all of Europe. But obviously Ansu was a guy who was he dealt with the same thing he was doing at Barca, at Brian, injuries. But to me, the reason why I say Ansu Fati and Joao Felix go hand in hand is because, to me, if you're going to keep one and then get rid of the other one. If you want to keep Joao Felix, you can't keep Ansu Fati. And if you want to keep Ansu Fati, if you want to bring back Ansu Fati, you can't keep Joao Felix. That's just my opinion. Because, look, Ansu Fati and Joao Felix, there's upside to both of them. I think there's more upside with Ansu Fati because he's younger, and I think obviously being a La Masia kid and a kid from Barcelona, I as a fan would rather have Ansu Fati at the club as opposed to Joao Felix, who again, like I said, has no ties to Barca. I get that he loves the team, but he was here for 1 year and it was underwhelming. Let's just be honest here, he was underwhelming. But if you want to keep one of them or the other one, that's fine by me. But you cannot keep them both. Or if you want to keep them both but get rid of Ferran Torres, you can get rid of him. Because Barca, we cannot have this many inconsistent players on the team. If you're going to have Ferran Torres, you're going to have Joao Felix, you're going to have Ansu Fati on your bench. I mean, it's just like these guys, anytime you toss them onto you put them on the pitch, you don't really know what you're going to get out of them. It's really, you're rolling a dice at that point. Are they going to be good today? Are they going to be on form? Or are they going to be shit? And for me, like I said, you got to get rid of one winger and to keep either of these guys. If you want to get rid of Ferran and you want to keep these two, sure. If you want to get rid of Joao Felix and keep Ferran and Ansu, that's fine. If you want to get rid of Ansu and keep Ferran and Joao Felix like you did this year, that's fine. But keeping them both is nonsensical to me. Now, me personally, like I said, I think I made it clear already, I'd rather keep Ansu Fati. I'd rather keep Ansu, and honestly, Ferran, I don't really know, bro. It's a mid-off at that point. Joao Felix and Ferran Torres, it's a mid-off with all three of them, honestly, because I think Ansu, I think we've seen the best of him already. I hope we haven't, but it's just what I think personally, but because the upside is really there with Ansu Fati. I mean, he's 21 years old, and this is a kid who, we've seen him when he's right, he can be a dangerous player. But again, it's the same thing with Joao Felix. So I don't really know. I don't know which one to pick. But again, me personally, no, I do know which one to pick. I don't know which one Barca are gonna pick. But if it was up to me, sorry, I would pick Ansu Fati because, like I said, he's a Barca boy. He's from La Masia, and the upside, we've seen it before. He has that capability. He has that ability to be a really, really good player, a productive player for Barcelona as he was before. Just injuries kind of got to him. But for me, I'm not a really big fan of Joao Felix personally. I think he's a good player, but I think he's really inconsistent, and I think we've seen the best of him already. I watched this kid at Benfica have an amazing season, go to Atletico Madrid, be a Golden Boy winner, go for over $100 million in transfer fee. And then he gets to Atletico Madrid and just underperforms. He goes to Chelsea and underperforms. He gets to Barca and underperforms. And when you just keep underperforming at all these different teams, it just shows that maybe you're the problem at that point. It's not really the team or the structure or the system that they're implementing around you. It's just maybe that you don't know how to play football at this level, maybe. I don't know what to tell you. I mean, I think Joao Felix is a good player. I mean, he obviously has talent, and coming off the bench, he did some good things for us. His first 2 games for us against Antwerp and Betis, he was really, really good. But overall, what you see from Joao Felix is a guy who cannot give you that consistent production off the bench or when he's starting. And that to me is something that Barca cannot go out and pay for. You know what I mean? That's another reason why I would rather keep Ferran and Ansu over Joao Felix, because Joao Felix, you're gonna have to pay for him. If you want to keep him on a transfer fee, you're gonna have to pay for him. And for me, I don't want that. Now, if you bring him out on loan, that's fine. But still, Ansu Fati is costing you nothing to bring back. I mean, you're just gonna bring him back from Brighton. Ferran Torres is already on the team. You're just paying his wages. To bring in Joao Felix, who again, like I said, I don't think he's shown that promise, or he hasn't done enough for us to really bet on that upside with him, as he hasn't done at any point in his career, honestly. It'd just be nonsensical in my opinion. So for me, again, like I said, to kind of recap what I want to do, I would keep Joao Cancelo if you can on a loan deal. If you can get him sub 30 million price from Man City, I would do that. And when it comes to Joao Felix and Ansu Fati, you keep one or you keep the other one, or you get rid of Ferran and you keep both. but you gotta get rid of you gotta get rid of one and then bring in Nico Williams. You know, so if you can have Ansu Fati, Joao Felix, Nico Williams, Rafinha, and Lamine Yamal as your wingers and have that depth, that's fantastic. I mean, that would make me really happy, as well as you can have Gavi who can play on the wing as well. I mean, that to me is really, really good. But if we're gonna have Rafinha, Lamine Yamal, Ferran, Joao Felix, and Ansu Fati, no. You gotta get rid of one, bring in an actual decent winger that's actually productive like Nico Williams. You can bring in Rafael Leao in an alternate universe, or if you want Kvaratskhelia, even though I'm not too keen on him. But again, you need to get rid of one of the guys that's already there and bring in the other one. Or like I said, you guys, I'm repeating myself too much, but you guys understand what I'm saying right now. Okay, so get rid of one, keep the other two. Whichever one it is, I don't really care. But again, for me, Ansu Fati, is he going to walk into Barca next year and be a starter? Absolutely the fuck not, because he hasn't proven that he can be a starter at Barcelona. But if you bring him back and give him and you nurture him, and maybe he gets along better with Hansi Flick, and he has a good relationship with the manager. We saw what that did for Dembele. Dembele had a really good relationship with Xavi. I mean, obviously he ended up snaking us at the end, but that really changed his trajectory at Barca. When Dembele started really getting along with Xavi, and Xavi instilled that confidence in him, Dembele started peaking at the right time. Obviously, I'm talking about the latter end of the 2021-22 season, and then going all the way to when Barca won the league. And with Ansu, if you can have Hansi Flick maybe instill that confidence in him, because apparently, like I said, they spoke earlier when he was at Brighton earlier in the season, and it looks like they have a relationship there. It's not like they're strangers that they've met before. That's fine, but I don't think you should come in and be a starter and be a guy who we're betting on to be productive, because like I said, Ansu over the past couple years has been disappointing to say the least. So again, that's just kind of to recap this video. Joao Felix, I don't want people to think I'm hating on him. Again, if you want to keep him or you want to keep Ferran Torres, I don't really give a fuck. It's a mid-off at the end of the day, but you cannot have them both on the team because it's not good enough depth. And the inconsistencies are there. You need a guy who, when you bring him off the bench, you know that you're consistently going to get something. And again, that's in football, not every player is consistent every game, but the good players are consistent every single game. That's what makes a player world class. If you're consistently great, that makes you world class. And Joao Felix and Ferran Torres have the talent to be world class players, and so does Ansu Fati. They have the talent. It's there. It's inside them. I mean, these are not bums we're talking about. They have the talent to be world class players. Unfortunately, the consistency and the drive is not really there. That's where they're lacking, and hence why they've been disappointing for the majority of their career. Because let's be honest, guys, Ferran Torres, Ansu Fati, and Joao Felix have all been disappointing in their careers. They all have been disappointing in their careers, and they all have really high expectations when they first bursted onto the scene. And we've seen their potential. But unfortunately, if you don't fulfill that potential, we can't just keep betting on the potential. You gotta actually produce at some point, and we're not seeing that from them. So that's the reason why, to kind of make it more clear why I wouldn't keep all three of them, because you're basically just like it's gonna be a recipe for disaster. But yeah, I've been yapping for too long already. Whatever you guys agree or disagree with, like I said, please let me know in the comment section down below. I love every single one of you, and I will catch you guys on the next video. Peace out.